a bit of advice from a viewer and change the name of this blog because we do want it to include positivity so everyone knows that that's the basis of it. Damon, can you stop licking my feet, please? Sorry. Anyway, as I was saying, welcome to Positive Thinking Thursdays, where all thoughts are positive. Because that was the main goal of my channel when I first initially made it. When I first decided to do vlogs on it, I should say. I've been working on an application for a real job and had forgotten how much work the application process can be sometimes. Let me tell you, not a negative thought there, but since society requires money, it's something I need to do. LOL. I am looking forward to getting back into the work arena and having a steady, regular income because, as I've mentioned before, I do not get paid for this. I don't have enough subscribers, enough viewers, and all that good stuff, to be able to do that. Anyway, I'm kind of more just do it for fun and to help out some family members and other people that might be interested in what I have to say. Now, for my list of good things that occurred in my life recently that I took note of. I almost forgot to do this part. I wrote down that that's what I was going to do, and then I was like, oops, I didn't actually go ahead and work on my list after I wrote that. But anyway, I realized that I am a few days behind on this, and make sure that you tune in tomorrow. I'm going to do a Mystery Mondays vlog where I'm going to read an article that I discovered, a new one that I hadn't seen before. It's not a new article, but I had not seen the information in it before, about Aubrey Dameron from Grove, Oklahoma, who is a missing Indigenous transgender woman. There's something else I was going to say about that, but I forgot what it was. Oh yes, I'm planning to go ahead and make that video early tomorrow morning, and then I'll probably post it sometime tomorrow between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. is my plan for that right now. So here are the good things that happened in my life recently. I have finished watching more shows. I was going to try to make a list of the ones that I finished watching, but I was like, I'm just going to say that I finished watching more shows. One of them was Worst Roommates. I think there's more to the title of it than that, but that was an extremely interesting show. The tragedy of the last guy that it discusses life. Oh gosh, that was just so sad to me. But anyway, back to positive stuff, right? I also started watching some new things that I had not seen before, like what is it called? The one about Pam that has Renee Zellweger on it. That's very interesting. Seems like there are two others that I started watching, but I don't recall what they are. Oh, I am watching, though, Is It Cake? Actually, I watched all of what they had of that so far, and that's a very entertaining show if any of you are interested in watching it. Interested in baking stuff. They have stuff like actual real stuff, like, say, decoy ducks, and one of them is a cake, the others are decoys, and then the people that are in the thing pick stuff from the group, and they make that thing to try and make it look like it's real instead of a cake, and it's just very, very fascinating. They finished the first season of it. And I've also been watching American Song Contest. Yes, I haven't seen one episode of it so far. Oh, and I needed to watch the second episode of The Domino Show. I haven't watched that. See, I'm watching all sorts of stuff now that I wasn't watching before. So, I also, of course, picked up an application for a job I've been meaning to apply for because I mentioned at the very first that I'm working on filling out that application. I couldn't fill it out if I didn't pick it up, right? And I made some small step goals for myself. Trying to think, there's another word for those. I don't recall what it is. I'm calling them small step goals because I am considering them steps to larger goals that I plan to plan. Anyway, that being said, these goals are mostly about getting an income and improving my health. And I also made some goals about facing certain demons from my past, certain bad things, horrific things that happened in my past, then hopefully releasing them. sometimes easier said than done, right? But I feel that that could improve my health because lately I've been really, really stressed and just mentally not in the same place that I normally am. And I'm still having major problems with my computer now. It won't even let me log on and keeps saying something about something not being found that's needed for it to restart or reboot or whatever. But like, yeah, you were on just fine the other day before you updated yourself and restarted twice. But anyway, back to my positive thoughts, right? Because that's not positive. Technology is so frustrating to me. I was watching Criminal Minds a while ago and all the awesome stuff that Garcia can do, and the guy that played for Xander on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I often wish that I had learned to do stuff like that, because then when my computer is giving me a hard time, I can just be like, no, not today, buddy. I'm smarter than you. Anyway, um, getting back into the negative again, aren't I? I'm sorry about that. Oh yes, and I also made plans to revamp my resume, which I've actually been calling a curriculum vitae, because I learned when I was in college, doing my careers in sociology class specifically, that if your resume is more than a page to a page and a half long, it's actually a curriculum vitae. Curriculum vitae, supposedly, it's okay for them to be a page and a half long to 5 pages long, but no company wants to read a 5-page curriculum vitae. Okay? Maybe if you're going to be a CEO or a CFO or something like that, but most of them know. That just see it's 5 pages and be like chunk, which most of them use computerized programs to do that stuff anyway anymore. So yes, I am making plans to do that, assuming my computer ever does what it needs to do. And if it doesn't, then I can do it on my phone. I accidentally deleted part of it on my phone, or I would have a current one on there. Anyhows and ways. And I'm also planning to do some spring cleaning and organizing. Haven't exactly decided. I need to start getting up earlier in the morning, going to bed earlier at night, I suppose, so I can do it when it's still cooler out, because a lot of it involves my garage. But I prefer, like, I've always been a person that prefers to stay awake until like 3, 4, 5, heck, even 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. 8. Give me the night shift, y'all. Overnights. That's what I love. But yeah, I've always preferred doing that. And then going to bed, at 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, sleep until 4, 5, 6 in the afternoon, get up and start my day. But society often doesn't allow for you to do that. Anywho's and ways, I stayed in touch with my loved ones for the most part. I was thinking, it seems like I think I messaged my oldest grandson, who granted is overseas with the military right now. I think I messaged him, though, 2 or 3 times on Snapchat within the last week or two, and he hasn't responded. I understand he is busy. And a while back, I had messaged my other grandson and my granddaughter. My granddaughter replied, and I never heard from the other grandson, which is not uncommon. Like, the grandsons are real bad to be like me and their mother and several other people that I know. You may be that way. Open a text, read it, and then forget to reply, and then later look and go, oh, crap, I thought that I responded to that. And then sometimes never actually get around to responding to it, or not for a long, long time. Or just be like, well, they know that I forgot to respond, and don't bother responding. But anyway, I did manage to stay in touch with most of my family. And I plan to start reading again. I had requested books for my birthday one year, I think it was, or Christmas, one or the other. And my sons and my youngest daughter got me several books. There was a book that my daughter had got me, I want to say the year before that, Alicia's Story, which I finished the summer before last, I think it was, and I haven't done much reading since then. And that reminds me, one of my Dalai Lama books that my sons got me is in my back window of my car in my other daughter's house. Oh no. I have some stuff in there that I need to go get. But anyway, but I do have several books that I need to read. I have ones that I got whenever I was going to college. Part of them are ones that I got when I was doing my historical research. Historical research, is that what it was? No, no. It was sociological research. Yes, that's what it was for my bachelor's degree. And I misunderstood and thought that she wanted us to get all of these books that were on the list, and I got every single one of them. And we were only required, she told us the first day of class, to purchase at least one of them or get access to one of them at the library or something along that line so that we could do a report on that book. And I was like, oh, well, I kind of bought them all. And then there were a couple of other people that said that as well. I loaned 3 of mine out to fellow classmates who had not bought one yet, the ones that they were interested in. One of them actually borrowed the book that I did mine on after I had finished mine. I think it took me like 3 weeks of class to write my report, because I was like, oh, I'm going to do it on this one. This one sounds really interesting. I don't remember what it was. It was something had the word cat in the title. It didn't have anything to do with cats. If I recall correctly, I think it was about the cotton and wool industry in the eastern United States. I think that's what it was about. But anyway, but yes, I plan to start doing more reading so that I'm watching less TV. And also I can read stuff out loud when my grandson is here and help him to develop a broader vocabulary. And he and I started watching, speaking of stuff that I started watching that I haven't been watching, we started watching, oh my gosh, I'm not going to remember what they're called, Book Hungry Bears. Yes, that's what it is. We started watching Book Hungry Bears. He had the remote to my fire here a while back when we were on whichever one it is that it's on. Might be Disney Plus. I don't remember for sure, but anyway, he had added it. Like he clicked it, and then I went and added it to my stuff. And then yesterday he saw that it was on there, and he was just like, and I was like, okay, we'll watch Book Hungry Bears. And it's very interesting because it's kind of like reading Rainbow, and they read you the books, which I was going to look up Reading Rainbow and add it to my stuff on there. I'm sure it's on Amazon Fire somewhere. I'm sure one of the channels has it. And I also started watching stuff on IMDb TV. They have some free channels that you can literally stream on there, like 4 or 5 of them. It's pretty interesting. But yes, so reading more is one of my goals. And I lost my place. No. And I want to think of some good affordable hobbies. I almost said cheap, and I was like, oh, there's a difference in cheap and affordable. Let's face it. But yeah, I want to think of some good affordable hobbies to keep me busy and improve my mental balance. As I said, I don't feel like I'm in the mental place that I have been for the majority of my life. There was a tragic event that occurred in my life many years ago during March, and for some reason this year I've just really been thinking about it, and it's been getting me down and messing with me. And it's like, if that thing hadn't happened, I probably could have gone much further in my life, and I would probably be in a different place than I am right now. And then I'm like, snap out of it, girl. You need to wake up, and you have to put yourself in that happier place, right? So that also has to do with the dealing with this stuff and releasing it. Izzy heard me snap my finger. She's like, yeah, sorry, I was just going like that. Anyway, I wasn't calling you. How are you doing? Your eye is still red. You got dirt in the corner of it. Tried to put eye drops in her eyes a while ago, and she was like, no, get that away from me. But anyway, and Damon is feeling much better. He's getting around perfectly fine now, and I lost my place again. Oh, yes. So I want to think up some good, affordable hobbies to help with that stuff, keeping me busy and improving, hopefully, my mental balance. Think about that stuff instead of some other stuff. And I would greatly appreciate any suggestions on hobbies that any of you may have. This notebook here, I have my, I sort of say resume, I have my application for that job that I was talking about in, and I'm trying not to get it dirty or anything because I've actually previously gotten 2 of them. One of them, I made the mistake of putting some dates on that I shouldn't have, which I actually did on this one too, and I'm like, it'll just have to work. I'm not going to get another one and start filling it out all over again. They want 10 years of your employment history, and I'm like, oh Lord, here we go. So anyway, back to Positive Thinking Thursdays, right? Sorry if I'm being all full of negativity, because I try not to do that at all in my vlogs, and especially not in this one. So here is something that I want you guys to think about, or yeah, here's something I want you guys to think about. I want you to think about one thing you can do every day to bring more positivity into your life. That being said, my thing I decided on is to make it a point, of not thinking about how I feel first thing when I wake up. I decided I almost always tell myself, shortly after waking up that I don't feel well. Then I seem to base my day on that attitude, so to speak. So it's like, I don't feel good, and then it's like I'm grumpy all day and feel like I have a low energy and whatnot. And the other day before yesterday, I think it was, I actually woke up and felt good. That is a very, very, very extremely rare thing for me. But yes, that actually happened the other day. So my phone is telling me I need to charge my battery. Hopefully I've got like 20 to 15% left still. Now I'm going to read some quotes for you guys that I wrote down that I think are completely and totally awesome quotes, and my computer is in the final stage trying to start up, and it's probably just going to go to the blank screen. But anyway, the first quote is, "Life is the dancer, and you are the dance." That is a quote from Eckhart Tolle. And my next one, I was like, well, anyone could have said this. I say it all the time, I think. But the quote is, "Every day is a new day." That is a quote from Carrie Underwood, y'all. And then Julia Alvarez said, quote, the point is not to pay back kindness, but to pass it on," end quote, like to pay it forward, She says the point is not to pay back kindness, but to pass it on, aka pay it forward. I personally think the point is to just be kind. I don't be kind to people because I feel like I need to pay back their kindness. I don't be kind to one person because somebody else was kind to me. I try to be kind to people because I'm a kind person the majority of the time. I'm not going to say I'm that way all the time, the majority of the time. Oh, yes. And my next quote is, and I really like this one, it says, "No medicine cures what happiness cannot." No medicine cures what happiness cannot. Gabriel Garcia Marquez. And in the world today, I honestly feel that there are very, very, very few happy people, and I think that has been the case for quite some time. And I believe that that is where the saying "money can't buy happiness" came from. I'm not saying that it alone can, but if you don't have money, you're less likely to be happy, in my opinion, though there are those people that give up their earthly belongings and feel like they are happier. I don't feel like that would ever apply to me. Anyway, an unknown person said, quote, "When you love what you have everything you need," end quote. And I was like, I feel like that's probably an Oprah Winfrey quote. If you love everything you have, or if you love what you have everything you need. I don't know why, but I feel like that's probably an Oprah Winfrey quote, maybe one she didn't want to take credit for, or one that someone didn't remember she said. Might not have been her. She may have said it after somebody else said it. I don't know. Seems like it would be her to me, though. And here's another Maya Angelou quote. If you have only one smile in you, give it to the people you love. End quote. That's a beautiful one, isn't it? And here's the one that almost made me say Audrey Dameron a while ago instead of Aubrey. This one is from Audrey Hepburn, and she said, quote, "The most important thing is to enjoy your life, to be happy. It's all that matters," end quote. I thought that was a beautiful sentiment. And along the same line of thinking, the Dalai Lama said, quote, "The purpose of our lives is to be happy," end quote. And that's, I believe, the book of his that I left in the back of my car, which is at my daughter's, is one of the ones about the joy of living or something along that line. The Art of Happiness, perhaps? Yes, I think it's The Art of Happiness. So, I may have used this quote before. I think this is the last one that I have for y'all, and I may have used this quote before, but it's an excellent quote. Excuse me, I've got the burps again. Embrace the glorious mess that you are. Embrace the glorious mess that you are. Elizabeth Gilbert said that. My little sister Trina just loves Elizabeth Gilbert. She's a very positive and encouraging person. I think I follow her on Facebook, if I recall correctly, because my little sister was following her, and I kept being like, who's saying all these awesome quotes? And then I was like, oh, this lady. Anyhow, so with that, I bid you adieu. Until next time, everyone have a great whatever time of night or day it is in your part of the world. Stay safe and stay positive. And I don't see my stop recording button. Yeah, I don't see it. Anyway, there it is. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Yes. Sorry, I'm being goofy. I'm tired. Not been getting much sleep lately, folks. Toodaloo!